So, guess what, folks? I'm live, apparently. Brent Leary here. This is the first A Few Good Minutes of the week. I've had several, you know, minutes earlier in the week that were good, but not as good as this because I love doing this show and I love getting a chance to talk to really interesting people about important things. And so that's what A Few Good Minutes is about. That's what it's going to be about today. But before I do that, couple of things I'd like to point out coming up tomorrow. Let's see if I can get this. There it is. Tomorrow, CRM players. Colin Fleming is back. Colin has been, I think this will be his third time back with us at EVP Global Brand Marketing for Salesforce. He's the guy that we go to when we want to talk about Salesforce Plus, and with Dreamforce coming up. And we want to see how Salesforce Plus, and Dreamforce will be coming together to create that virtual experience for folks who will not be able to attend, and even for folks who are going to be in town. Maybe there's some stuff going on that they need to know about when it comes to Salesforce Plus. So Colin is going to be joining us tomorrow. That is cool. Tomorrow, Friday, we're going to be doing the giveaway. So this is the CRM Players first ever giveaway. And this is what we're giving away. See if you can see that. Oh, let me do this. Let me put the spotlight back on myself so you can see this. There it is. This is the camera that got us started. Let me see if I can move it the right way. The camera that got us started, both Paul and me started on the road to spending way too much of our money. This is the one that got us started with the streaming of the CRM players. And this is the one I'm going to be giving away this Friday during our, what are we calling that thing again? Up from the Rabbit Hole, where we're talking about gear. We're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff, but we decided we got so much stuff. A lot of it is great, but we keep buying things and we can't use it all. So we decided, hey, why don't we do some giveaways? Why don't we give folks an opportunity to use some really good stuff that it's still great. It's just that we can't use it all at once. And so this Friday, we'll be giving it away. I want to make sure I get this right. And a part of that giveaway is our buddy Curtis Judd is joining us. Now, all I want you to do, because he's going to be our special guest in addition to the giveaway, all I really want you to do is just Google Curtis Judd, or just go to YouTube and do a search on Curtis Judd. And the guy has about 300,000 or 400,000 followers on YouTube, because this guy does probably the best videos on anything you want to know about lighting and audio when it comes to doing video and even still photography. Just check it out, because I mean, he's the guy that we found when we were starting down this path. And every time we do a search for our new lighting product or something to do with sound, he's probably responsible for about 30% of the stuff we end up buying when it comes to the lighting and sound. So he's going to be joining us, which is really cool. So in addition to the giveaway, Curtis Judd is going to be joining us. And in order to be entered in the giveaway, I'm going to go back to Colin. Join us tomorrow. We do Stump the Godfather. It'll be about 3:15 Eastern time. Play along. When I ask Paul Greenberg, the venerable Paul Greenberg, the question that he has to answer, put your answers in the comments, and that gets you entered so that you could potentially win this camera. And I'm giving away the lens that goes to this camera. It's about $1,700 worth of stuff. So I wanted to get that all out of the way, because now I get a chance to spend a few good minutes with Kris Billmaier. Now, Kris has been with Salesforce for a while, and Salesforce just recently announced, they call it the Salesforce Starter, which is aimed at the SMB market, to kind of help them really get a handle, not just get a handle, but actually leap into using CRM and do it in a way that they can get off the ground running quickly, see immediate wins. And that's something I think a lot of small businesses kind of shy away from CRM for a number of reasons. One, they think it's too complex. Some still think it's too cost a lot. But this is one I think people really need to understand, and maybe Kris could help. I think Kris can help. Kris, thank you for joining me, and this is great.
Hey, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me before Colin. I don't want to follow him. Really good. It's really good to be here. Really excited to talk about Starter and just what we're doing in this space. And, I'm just looking forward to the conversation.
Hey, before we jump into all that, maybe you can give us a little of your personal background.
Yeah, happy to. So I've been at Salesforce for about 5.5 years now. I'm based up in Bellevue, Washington. Before Salesforce, I spent about 7 years at Microsoft, and then before that, did a few startup things. I love like you. I love football. I'm interested to see how your Rams do against my Seahawks this year. But we'll save that for another day. But yeah, it's just great being here. So really excited to talk about this.
Absolutely. Hey, at least we can talk football without coming to blows. Like, can't do that with most of the Patriots fans I know, and unfortunately, I know a lot of them. But that's besides the point. So, tell us a little bit about Salesforce Starter. This is not the first time that Salesforce is addressing the SMB space. I mean, Salesforce really came out of the SMB space. But talk a little bit about what Starter is and how does it fit kind of in the landscape of what Salesforce offers.
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head when you said there are folks out there who think of CRM and Salesforce as potentially too big, too complex, too expensive. And we actually really heard that in the market. And so what our aim was with Starter was really to get back to our roots. In fact, it's funny, we have a process in the company which we call our V2 MOM, which is our vision, our values, our methods, our obstacles, and our majors. And that's been how we kind of structure and talk about the work we do at the company ever since the inception. And when we started this process, Parker Harris, the co-founder, came to me and showed me the original V2 MOM that was written on like the back of an envelope. And one of the things in there was make it easy, make it simple. And so we kind of went back to our roots with this product, and we said, how do we build something that's easy to use, that's simple to get started with, and that's cost effective, that an SMB can just go and learn and run with. And so that's really what we've done. We took a hard look at what we have and where we were, and we built this product from the ground up, basically saying we're going to refactor the process of getting onboarded, getting set up, and just using the product. And on my team, we have this kind of overall philosophy. We're easy by default, and we're advanced by choice. So we really want to deliver to the customer that amazingly easy declarative experience. And then they could always go deeper with the power of the Salesforce platform.
So what did you hear from your SMB customers and prospects leading into Salesforce Starter? What were the things that they were really struggling with that you said, hey, we need to address this and we're going to use Starter to do that?
It's interesting because at the time we were forming the team, there were three things that really happened. One was we heard from the market and through a bunch of different reports that the self-service buying patterns were just expected with SaaS. Like, it just became something that if you didn't have a self-service buying experience and it wasn't simple, you were missing the mark. So we heard that loud and clear. Back to your point, we heard, hey, big and complex doesn't work for us. And we heard the idea more of a cross-product jobs to be done. So I'm a seller, but I need to reach out to my customers. I need to be able to market to them. I'm a service person, but I also need to contact my customers. And so we really did, I'd say, three things. We made self-service a priority and focused on that user journey to really think about products that are meant to be bought and not sold. And that's what Starter really is. We packaged Starter originally with our sales and service cloud products so that customers could have kind of a glimpse of both and think less about their role and more about the functionality of the product. And just actually last week, we added a marketing piece of functionality to the product as well. So we really are trying to bring together the idea of this cross-cloud offering that just focuses on the jobs that a user needs to do simply so that they can get back to their job. And it just adds that additive value.
When I think of SMBs and small businesses, let's say 5 years ago and then now, yeah, a lot has happened. A lot has changed. The way that things move, the speed at which things move, the things that you're able to do, that small businesses are able to do that they probably would never have been able to do before. So there's been a lot of levels and layers. How does all that has taken place? How does that change Salesforce approach to helping small businesses in this area?
I think what we think of when we think of starters, we really think about the entry point for CRM, right? If you come to Salesforce and you want to get started simply and easily, we think about starters at entry point, and we think about it as the point where you start, and as you grow, we can grow with you. And I think, maybe in the past, we were a little bit more narrow than that in the SMB space, but we really think about growth and never outgrowing Salesforce and starting where you need to. And we think a lot of this space, can get started quickly and easily with a free product experience, free 30-day trial, get into it cost effectively, and really see the value of starter from a multi-product experience in one offering that's simple to use and simple to grow with. I think that growth paradigm is really important. You can never outgrow Salesforce, really. And if you start with us, just move on up.
A lot of small businesses, well, I should say a lot, but a good number of them, let's say, they're still kind of never having used any real CRM kind of tool, relying on Outlook and spreadsheets and things like that. And they've heard of CRM. I mean, even it's funny. It's like the more things change, the more things kind of stay the same, because I've had the same kind of conversations like a decade ago that I'm still having. Maybe a little, maybe a little different spin on it, but kind of the meat of it is still the same. So CRM, from a small business perspective, a lot of them say, we hear it's good, we hear it can help us. We've never used it before, but we're open to it. And then when they finally kind of make all right, we're going to try it, and they plunk down the credit card or wherever it is, and they think, well, the big commitment is done. We bought it, and then it just sits there and it doesn't do anything because they really don't know what to expect. They don't really know what to do. They don't really know exactly how it's going to help in specific areas. So even the best platforms end up doing absolutely nothing for them. And that kind of gives CRM a negative connotation. I used to say back in the day, it makes CRM a 4-letter word in a lot of instances. So talk a little bit about not just providing the great platform, but providing like the mentoring, the guidance that allows them to really see that win, a quick win. Some of them are like, well, we just don't know where to start, or all right, we did this, but how do we connect it to that? Can you talk about how Salesforce not only provides this new starter platform, but also helps with those things?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. It was actually one of our initial focuses when we started out with the product is how do we build in guidance sets so that a user never gets stuck? A user never has to, contact support. A user always knows what's next to provide value to their business. And so we've done a couple of things there. One, we introduced the idea of this kind of out-of-the-box homepage, which is your daily digest, basically, of what you need to know and what you need to do to kind of take action and move your business forward. But before that, we actually built in guidance. So if you go to the product, salesforce.com/starter, and check it out, you try for free, you can actually get into the product. And we have contextual guidance on the right rail. So whatever you're trying to do and wherever you are in the product, you're never stuck and you're always there with help and assistance. And, a lot of folks who are familiar with Salesforce understand that we have a learning platform called Trailhead. We've actually that allows you to take trails and earn points and badges associated with understanding Salesforce product. We've actually taken that and embedded a bunch of Trailhead inside Starter, so that when you're in Starter, when you're trying to create a lead and move a lead to the next stage, you actually understand what that means, how to do it, and what impact that will have on your business overall. And the other thing we've done, coming back to that kind of easy by default, advanced by choice nature of things, is we have this kind of idea of declarative defaults. So we know that when we deliver customers a feature, that feature really needs to educate the customers on what it can do. So we do that with guidance, but we also do things like take the power of Salesforce dashboards and reports that really tell you how your business is doing and build those by default for you. You can always build on top of them. You can always build new, but we want something out of the box to show a customer how it works, what they're getting, and kind of the impact that data in has on the overall look and feel of their business.
There's a couple of letters that I'm surprised. What are we, like 15 minutes into this, and we haven't even mentioned AI? I mean, come on, how
AI.
do we get away from it? How do we get away from it? So talk about how Starter kind of helps small businesses leverage the power of AI, because there's still a lot of, everybody's talking about it, but it feels like there's still a lot of unknown, and where does it fit in, and particularly where it fits in with something like a CRM application. So can you talk about how Starter helps small businesses from that perspective?
Yeah, no, I think if you've seen us in the news at all recently, you've seen our kind of massive push towards CRM and data and AI, and Starter's no different in that we right now are using more of kind of the existing Einstein predictive analytics through things like email send time optimization. But we're really out there and we're talking to our customers and trying to figure out how GPT and AI fits into the world of the SMB. What we don't want to do is just drop a bunch of features into the product and say, here's what we have, go for it. We want to be very thoughtful and very direct in what problem we're trying to solve and how we bring AI into Starter. So you'll see more over the coming weeks and months, and Dreamforce is just a couple weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. I'm sure Colin will talk about that tomorrow. But we'll have more to come on kind of our overall strategy with AI and bringing it down kind of to the SMB. It's funny, we want to make sure we don't overwhelm customers. We want to deliver what they actually need at the time that they need it. So that's also our strategy with AI, as it is with the rest of the product offering.
I know you get a chance to speak to your small business customers. What are the things that they're telling you outside of AI? What are some of the things that they're really, looking to you to try to solve?
Yeah, I think, time to value has been massive. How do I get into your product? And to your point earlier, like I want to get in, I want to know what I'm doing, and I want to see value from it right away. So we've actually, we have a bunch of studies and we've run a bunch of A/B tests, but the way we get our customers into the product and the way they get started and the value they see is really encouraging. They've also said, make it simpler. Why is this way? And for us, we've been on this journey for a while, right? We made this product GA in April, but we had been doing a bunch of testing before that for 8 or so months, and we were constantly learning from our customers around things as big as features that they needed to bring in, and that's why you see Marketing Cloud now in the product as of this week, to kind of what I call fit and finish pieces, like why does this do that when it should do this? So I'd say my two favorite things about this job are talking to our customers and then taking that feedback to our product team and making sure that it gets implemented in the way that is beneficial for them.
You mentioned marketing being brought in because when you think of CRM, you think of sales, service, and marketing.
Yeah.
And so having marketing, what's the overall effect and impact, not on the platform, but on the SMB customer, that having that all together now gives them?
Yeah, it's huge for us. It's huge for us, and I think it's huge for our customers. This is the first time we've ever packaged out of the box like a default set of sales, service, and marketing tools that a customer can get access to. And as I think about the set of products that we've put together, I think about it less of like, here's a sales cloud, here's a marketing cloud, here's a service cloud, and those users. I think about it more as like, in my role, I need to connect with my customers in the best ways that I possibly can. And what better way to do that than through a beautifully branded campaign that I can understand how users are engaging with, and kind of see that data flow back in to help me as a seller, as a service person, as a marketer, generate more leads, open more opportunities, and ultimately close more business. I think that out of the box nature of things is a game changer for us with those sets of tools, and I think it will be for our customers. I'm excited, to see what happens. It's only been out for a week, or less than a week, I should say. So we've got a lot to learn from our customers as well in this one.
You mentioned data as well. Data is everywhere.
Oh yeah.
How does using a system like Starter help small businesses be able to manage data more? Because they said a lot of them still are using, they do a lot of stuff in their email. They do a lot of stuff in their collaborative. They do a lot of stuff in, with spreadsheets and all sorts of things. How does, CRM and data, how do they kind of feed off each other and help a small business be a little bit more efficient and actually really understand their business even more and their customers even more?
Yeah, it's a great call. You're right. Data is everywhere. And the biggest challenge I think I see folks having with data is the fragmentation that you call out, right? Stuff exists over here, it exists over there, it exists over there. There's a couple of things that we've done. We've actually kind of unified our data set across that sales and service and marketing capability. So a contact looks like a contact looks like a contact, regardless of where you are in our ecosystem. Some of the biggest areas where people keep data is in email, as you point out, right? We have our inbox product that's embedded into Starter. So you can actually have connections to Outlook, connections to Gmail, and pull that data back into Starter. So you kind of get toward that single source of truth for your customer with the product. And that's what's really exciting to me is, Salesforce has the promise of the customer 360, and that customer 360 out of the box by default, so you have that singular view. I think that's just incredibly powerful for our customers to understand their customers in that way.
Yeah. As I've been thinking over the last couple of months about, kind of there's a lot of challenges. And even though there's a lot of kind of answers and solutions, a lot of cool tech, it still feels like there's a lot coming at small businesses. And trying to keep up with some of this is like, it's almost like I can't get a breath. And I feel like the small businesses, they really, in the past, they've really depended on, the vendors that they've chosen to kind of help them. But I think it's kind of even more challenging. It's almost like, yeah, there's more things, there's greater tech, but because of that, it becomes even more challenging in some aspects to do what you need to do to be successful today. And they kind of look at, the vendors that they rely on, not just for, the hardware and software, but for the guidance. So do you guys feel that kind of responsibility, when it comes to, there's the latest and greatest things change so much. Small businesses are like, oh, I need help. Can you help me? I mean, do you guys feel that?
I think our number one responsibility and accountability is to our customers. And we feel that as an organization. And, our job is to make our customers successful. And I think, we have an amazing success organization that, is world-class and can help our customers. I think it's on the product as well to help our customers understand and take those next steps. And, the term product-led growth gets thrown around a lot. But, I think what we're doing at Salesforce with the Starter effort is really that product-led growth methodology. So along the way, you understand in product what you need to know and what you need to do and how you need to grow with the product. It is very much in our kind of mindset that we're accountable to our customers for that. And candidly, I think a lot about what we put into the product, and how we phase those things so we don't overwhelm the customer at any given time. Is I think that would be that's probably the worst thing that we could do, is put too much on the customer at any given time.
Yeah. It sounds like you've had an opportunity to really collect and kind of analyze and act on a lot of the feedback you've gotten from your customers. How is your kind of the way that you communicate and interact with your customers? How has that changed over the years? Because I mean, everything has changed. So how has that changed, and how has that allowed you to kind of do what you're doing with Starter?
I think, Salesforce is a customer company first and foremost. So I'm not sure that I would say we've changed our the way we go and talk to customers. I'd say if I spend 50% of my week talking to customers, that's a good week for me, right? And so for us, it is kind of boots on the ground a little bit for my team, getting in front of customers, having feedback sessions, reaching out blindly just to say, hey, can you help us understand your experience with the product? I mean, I reach out to customers every day on my own just to say, hey, can you spend 15 minutes telling me about your experience? And so it's a lot of blocking and tackling in that regard. But I think that one-to-one or one-to-many conversation is really important to hear directly from your customers, and interpret that in a way that it'll make it better for them, make the product better for them going forward. We also look obviously at tons of data and insights that are aggregated to understand what's working and what's not. And for us, we're shipping fast. We're on a very rapid release cadence, so we're getting feedback into the system and getting product out to solve a customer's needs. So, I'm not sure it's really changed. I think it continues to be a focus, I would say.
Anything surprising from some of those interactions that are like, wait, wow, that changed my way of thinking or our way of doing it?
Um, it's hard to pinpoint one specific right now because there've probably been so many. But you get a lot of aha moments when you just sit back and watch a customer interact with your product.
Mm.
Um, and that aha of like, oh, they're trying to do that next. Oh, well, I think that way. They think that way. That's a miss on my part. I think, you know, the the amazing thing that I've seen from our customers is there's a ton of value packed in this product that we have, and they're recognizing it. And the ability to access what we've delivered and use it for their benefit is really great to see. So this has been a bit of a journey for us, and I think we're on the right track. Definitely more to go. This is a better, never done moment.
Right. It's a journey, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's not really ever done. It's always changing and moving in directions that most of us can't really predict. But I can predict that Dreamforce is coming up in a couple of weeks. And what should any folks on the SMB side of the house that are planning on going,
Yeah.
what should they be on the lookout for?
Yeah, well, we have a full SMB track this year, and yeah, come see us. We're actually presenting before the keynote, 9 a.m. on Tuesday, and I think in Moscone Stage 2. I'm not sure if it's West or East, but look us up. It's Starter, and you'll see Meet the Suite with Starter. And I'll be presenting there with a couple of colleagues, and would love to see a bunch of folks come and learn more.
Speaking of learning more, where can people go to learn more about Starter?
Head to salesforce.com/starter and try it for free. Just jump into the product. It's 3 steps to sign up, and you're into a free 30-day trial with sales, service, and marketing, and a really unified experience. I'm excited to hear your feedback, and hit up us and give us feedback.
And just for the record, how much is it per user again?
$25 a user a month. So hopefully
That's,
hitting that right price point.
that sounds pretty affordable. Put it like that. And Kris, this has been great. Thanks so much for the time, and really, I'm always really excited to see companies like Salesforce kind of recommitting and doubling down and helping small businesses. I mean, you guys have been there all the while, but it's always good to see when you kind of do something that kind of integrates even further into that. So I hope everybody got some good information out of that. And once again, this is Brent Leary spending a few good minutes with Kris. Tomorrow, we're on the road to Dreamforce, so we're gonna have Colin Fleming coming in with the players, talk a little bit about Salesforce Plus. So, and for you to get a chance to win these freebies, man. I'm telling you, this is a great game. This Lumix GH5. I almost don't want to give it away, but gotta do what we gotta do. All right, see you tomorrow, folks. Thanks again.
Thanks, Brent.